birds flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new
Well, hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving because we are back for some of the best racing that you'll ever see here in the Hidden Wit Brewery Xfinity Series. On Tuesday night, you're watching it right here on V-Speed. Want to thank Lincoln Tech for their sponsorship of the fall series. It's been an incredible series so far, and each series has got their own storylines going on, but this one is all about the round of 8. We are moving on to the next to last round. Just 3 more races remain, and this is the start of the round of 8. So if you're one of those 8 drivers, Patrick Dravitt, Michael Kossick, Jake Ellingson, Daniel Cunningham, Lance Ripka, Craig Von Traeger, Mickey Isaac, and Tyler Justice, well, you better have a good night tonight, because that way next week during the cutoff race, you won't have such a tough time. So it's an important race for these drivers. We'll see who comes out on top and who could possibly lock themselves into the final round, the final 4, you see. Well, I'm Eddie Smith. Boy, I'm glad to be back. A little rusty maybe, I don't know, but we're ready to roll, ready to call some awesome racing. And, well, qualifying is just about over. So you know what that means. Well, we got to give the Jam Printing and Promotion Pole Award out. We're going to find out who that goes to in just a second as everything crosses over. And, oh, boy, looky who we got here on the pole. It's going to be Patrick Dravitt. Lance Ripka going to start outside the front row. Patrick Dravitt trying to get another win in this season. And I tell you what, he has got a great shot here tonight with Indianapolis, one of his best tracks and his home track. You see Lance Ripken in second. Also, ready. I see the sneaky Final Four driver. We haven't been talking about him that much. I'm going to keep talking about him moving forward. He has got a great opportunity to get this championship. In row number 2 is going to be Jeremy Garner with Michael Kostick in the 4th position. In 5th is going to be Jacob Ellingson with Daniel Cunningham in 6th. Kyle Justice, Chance Taylor in the 8th spot. 9th is going to be Cliff Adams with Kyle Deering, a new driver here tonight, going to round out your top 10. And Mickey Isaac in 11th. George Jewell in 12th. 13th, Matt Knights, Bobby Germain in that 14th position. And Doug Ellingson going to round out your field here tonight. Well, we've already set the stage. Let's take a look at your race analysis and see what we're going to be doing here tonight. 50 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Pit road speed 55 miles an hour. 4 tire sets if you need them. I can't imagine you'd use all 4, but may come into play if we have enough cautions. 2 green white checkered attempts, 100% fuel load, and a fixed setup. Take a look at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Well, it's just the most famous oval in the world. So if you don't know about Indianapolis, shame on you, because here it is right here. It turns 9.2 degrees apparently, but there are 4 turns. If you're not able to count right there, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Speedway, Indiana is where it is located. One of the best tracks in the world. Obviously, the site to the Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard 400 now again, I think. So, hey, really cool to be at this track in Goat Locker. As long as Patrick Drabick is living and breathing, they will be here for sure. So, glad to see it. I love the track. I think it's a lot of fun. It does make for some I don't know, sort of drawn out races. You know, a lot of times these don't, they're not going to give you that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're not going to give you that, that side-by-side, you know, all the whole time racing in Indy. It is a driver's track. You got one lane to get it done, and you better do it. You got to get that done. You're going to have to run very similar lap times, and this is not an easy track to be fast on. It requires a lot of, you know, patience, timing. You got to do it 4 times a lap. So it is it's a tricky track. It looks like it would be easy, but it's made for open wheelers, not for stock cars, and it definitely shows that. We come around, long pace lap, so kind of hoping that we don't see any cautions, because if you get cautions, that's what you're going to run into right here, is how long these pace laps can really be. But we've seen some really good finishes here in the past, so I expect to see the same thing here as they come through 3 and 4. And we're going to get this thing rolling. I want to thank our sponsor again, Inwood Brewery Company, for their sponsorship of this series. Who's going to get it done here tonight and move on to the next round? Or are we going to have somebody that is not in the playoffs take a victory? We're all going to find out right here as they come down the front straightaway. And waiting on Barney to drop the green flag, and long straightaway holding that flag. There it is. Green flag is out. They roar down into turn 1, and Lance Ripka going to have to give way to Patrick Drabick, who takes the lead out of turn 1, gets really close to the wall, and Jeremy Garner is going to follow him down on the inside. See, they want to get single file as quickly as possible. There's no speed in running side by side, so the quicker you can get single file, the better, especially if you plan on keeping up with that 07 machine. Well, how's everybody doing tonight, man? I missed y'all. I feel like I don't know what's going on. Man, look back here. We got Jacob Ellingson and Michael Kostick battling here, and that is for the 4th and 5th position, and Kostick's down on the inside, but Ellingson not to be denied. He will fight forever for a position. He is not the type to give it up. Looks like Cunningham going to get to the back bumper. Oh, and he's going to turn him. He turns his teammate, Kostick. Michael Kostick goes spinning down the front stretch. And that will bring out the first caution, as he will have to tow unbelievable teammates. Both playoff drivers, and now looks like Tyler Justice as well had to tow or have some sort of issue, and he may have called it quits, but my goodness, I did not expect that. A push gone wrong. Watch right here. You'll see that 91 machine just gets to the back bumper and just, I don't know, it looked like it was a solid angle. We watch it here. He's just trying to help the four get around. I mean, it is square as a bump as you can get and just gets the four out of shape. And once he gets out of shape, then he goes for a ride down to the inside wall. And you can see that Jack Daniels #4 machine, big damage as he goes spinning down the front stretch. And I think Tyler Justice here is where he's going to get his damage. And you can see right there, enough damage that Tyler Justice called it quits. Wow. He's in the playoffs, so I can't believe that, but he is out of this one. So not the way Bandits Motorsports wanted to start this night out, with two of their drivers getting involved, and now Michael Kostick a lap down here at Indy, and that is that's tough to make up. The likelihood of cautions from here on out is pretty low, especially with two cars now out of a 15-car field. But you know, it's going to be hard to get that lap back, and if he only goes down one lap, right now he's in danger of going down two. When you tow a car, the tow kind of simulates how long it actually take for a tow truck to come and get you and then take you back to pit lane. So you have to wait when that happens. But Tyler Justice out already, so he is likely going to be in a must-win scenario next week. Jamie Lipke says, I'm having withdrawals, no GOAT talk for 2 weeks. Well, I'll tell you what, I really love the fact that you want to have GOAT talk so bad. That is a that's a good thing. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm glad you enjoy GOAT talk, and we'll definitely be back after it Monday. Holidays will be a little bit weird, but we'll get you what you crave, that's for sure. Watching some guys come down pit road. Jeremy Garner, you can see Chance Taylor and George Jewell all coming down pit road. Likely just getting fuel, but I mean, a set of tires is not out of the question, considering they have so many. But I don't see anybody taking tires, just fuel only, thinking about that fuel strategy, giving up a lot of track position to do it. But with only 15 cars, really 13 now, it's not that much. So definitely recoverable for those drivers. Chance Taylor wins the battle off of pit road. But Patrick Drabick holds on to the top spot for now. Let's bring Pat in here and talk to him. Patrick, this is Eddie in the booth. Got a copy?
I do, man. You can't be shocking people like that.
I can. I sure can. That's exactly what I absolutely will, and I'll do it every time. But here you are at your home track, Indianapolis, and we know as long as you live and breathe, this track's going to be on the Goat Locker schedule, and for good reason. I think it's a fun track. People talk trash about it, but it sure is fun. Puts on some good racing. That 07 got on the pole, got the lead early. What do you need to do to keep that up to get yourself not locked into the Final Four?
Man, it's just going to all be about tire management. The setup here tonight's pretty loose, and it's chewing up some tires. So it's going to be about keeping this car underneath you all night long, managing those tires, getting to the halfway point, putting some fresh ones on, and running to the end. I mean, we tend to go green at these races, so I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's get out here and have some fun.
There you go. Well, hey, you know what? I'm starting to think we just cancel Thanksgiving next year so we can race right on through it. What do you say?
I don't know about all that, man. I mean, you got to get your turkey and mashed potatoes.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll let you go, Pat. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck tonight.
All right. Thanks, brother.
There you go, Patrick Drabick. Out front. Got the car to beat, I would imagine. I mean, he is so good at this track. It's unreal. And you see those drivers coming back down pit road, Chance Taylor, Gardner, Jewell. So obviously thinking about fuel here as we continue to pace after that caution that involved Michael Kostick and Daniel Cunningham. And Kostick actually now exits out of the sim as he's going to go possibly 3 laps down. So Michael Kostick out of this one. Tyler Justice is back in. He is back on the track. He is only 1 lap down. So Michael Kostick bouncing out is a good thing. Tyler was able to get that fast repair, so he is back rolling. Just going to need a caution at some point to get that lap back. And Pat said it's going to be tough to get those, I think. So we'll see. We'll see if he can get it. I didn't think we'd have a caution at all, and surprisingly we did. So we'll see if he's able to get back on the lap. Well, this feels like a family reunion. We got Jamie Lipke, we got Jacob Linke, but y'all got strangely familiar names. You got Ray Ellingson, Shasta Jewell, all the normals in chat. Good to see y'all. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving and ready to see some really awesome racing out of these folks. Lights are out on the pace cars. We're going to come around through turn 4, and we'll get this thing underway. We'll see if anybody's got anything for Pat. I just have a hard time believing that, I don't know who would have it. Having that clean air, being out front, I just don't know if anybody can keep up with that 07 machine. He has been stout this last month or two. It's been really unbelievable how good he has been once the playoffs started to kick off. Pace car is off, though. Him and Lance Ripka have another opportunity to restart this race. And now Patrick's going to be the control car, and he gets a great jump, and he's going to bring Jacob Ellingson along with him. Lance trying to put a little pressure there on Jacob, try to get single file before turn 1. And he's not going to get it. Jacob Ellingson going to get that good jump. Oh, he's going to make contact. And Jacob Ellingson goes around. Oh, and Doug Ellingson, holy cow. And Jake can't believe it as Doug Ellingson comes in. And Jake can't believe it. I can't believe it either. What an unbelievable turn of events. Just unbelievable here. Watch as you see the initial contact. Well, actually, go back and gives you a better, an upper view. You can see Jake Ellingson going to slide up here. And Lance Ripka did nothing wrong there. Jake's just trying to gas it up off the corner. And he's going to get some contact inside wall. And then, his dad just comes in and knocks his ass over on his roof. Oh, my goodness. Unreal. Let's go back and watch it from Doug Ellingson's point of view. And he's trying to slow it for the wreck. Oh, man, unreal. We'll see what happened to Doug. Doug gets tagged from behind. I don't know if it was who it was, but it might have been George Jewell. Watching that 58. Oh, Tyler Justice actually gets into it. And that's where that all started. So Justice actually kind of got away without any major issues there. But Doug and Jake Ellingson are in big, big trouble there. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that. And unfortunately for Tyler Justice, I do believe that will make him ineligible for the Lucky Dog after making that contact. So had he not made the contact with Doug Ellingson, he would likely be the Lucky Dog. But we'll see how they score it here. It looks like he is going down pit road, so he is not the Lucky Dog because of that contact. So, wild and crazy there. Like I said, the deal between Jacob Ellingson and Ripka is pretty clear. Ellingson needed you have to push the throttle more to make it work on the bottom, like he was trying to do. And when you do that, the front end, the car just gets tight naturally. And if you're not, it's going to kind of float up on exit. That's what you want it to do in Indy. And that's why it's so tough to run side by side. So unfortunately, just a small amount of contact at that point in the corner. There's really not much that either one of them can really do. So unfortunately, just a racing deal, obviously. But Jake Ellingson gets the worst end of it. And honestly, he probably could have driven back through the start-finish line. However, the contact between Doug Ellingson and Tyler Justice was enough to flip Jacob over. and then he's forced to tow. So just just a domino effect of terrible things that happened to Jake Ellingson there. And now that he is in trouble, and now we've got a lot of playoff drivers in big trouble. I mean, Tyler Justice is now lapped down. Michael Kostick is out of this one, and now Jacob Ellingson having trouble. So a lot of playoff drivers kind of eating it early, and only 8 laps into this 50-lap race. Well, we got at least one more lap, so we're going to thank our sponsors and appreciate those folks. Since we have the most people watching right here, we're going to send you off to InVets and Cruising Classic. So let's thank our sponsor.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
All right, we are back here at Indianapolis. Thank y'all so much for watching. And it has been a wild race here early. Not even 10 laps into this thing. And already some big issues with playoff drivers. Michael Kostick out of this one. Jacob Ellingson now 2 laps down. Tyler Justice down 1 lap. So if you're one of those drivers, you're straight up not having a good time. But if you're Patrick Drabick, you're Daniel Cunningham, Lance Ripka, you guys are having a great time. Looks like Craig Bontrager not here tonight, so he will forfeit, unless he gets a waiver, forfeit his championship run. So disappointed to see that out of Craig. But getting ready to go green as the pace car pulls off, and we'll get this thing back underway. Maybe get some green flag laps here. I was predicting pretty much 50 laps under green, and that has not happened. Green flag back out, though. Patrick Drabick looking to take the lead back from Lance Ripka. Lance now right behind the 07. And, he's just practicing. Lance runs a lane up the track just to pretend like normally there's somebody below me, but and Lance has had an incredible season. One of the better average finishes. Just doesn't have the wins to go along with it. But, you're not necessarily needing to win to move on. I think even in the final race, I'm not sure you're going to have to win it. There's just too many people who can win in this series. So I think average finish will carry you a long way. And Lance Ripka has really done a good job all season. And he deserves to be in the round of 8. And if he keeps this up, he might deserve to be in the round of 4. Right now, he's looking in that Mission 2252 machine to try to keep up with that 07. That clean air that the 07 has is incredibly valuable at a track like this, especially a flat track. You need all the downforce on the front of that car as you can get to make the car stick. You drive it down to the corner, and we'll actually go on board inside the cockpit with Lance Ripken here. And watch what you have to do. Give it a little break. Try to get the car all the way down. See, he puts it right. He got a little bit too low there, but that's perfect, though. You want to almost touch grass with that left front. That's how low. That's perfect. So Lance knows how to get around this place. and he is showing it. That's exactly what you want to do. Get as low as you can on the corner entry and wrap that bottom, stay right near the grass. That is where most of the speed is. And he, Patrick talked about the cars being a little bit loose to set up. So you're going to have to be careful that you don't push that throttle too much on exit trying to get that speed. Because if you slip the rear tires and you have to catch it on exit, look how long these straightaways are. That could really hurt your exit speed. And those straightaway speeds are everything. So Drabick starting to pull away just a little bit, but both these guys have pulled away from Cunningham in that third position. And right now, I think if you're Daniel Cunningham, you really just got to focus on getting your head right. Nobody wants to be the guy that wrecks their teammate, and he is not that guy for sure. And so in this moment, it's easy to kind of clam up, shut down, say, you don't care anymore, I wrecked my teammate. But Cunningham's got a lot to race for here, and he's gonna have to just kind of shake it off. It is what it is. It happened. And move on and, try to get up here and win this race. He's definitely fast enough. He knows how to get around this track. Just needs to settle back in and get this thing done. Jeremy Gardner, Cliff Adams right between these two, but Jeremy Gardner has gone to the back multiple times with that extra little bit of fuel. So we'll see if that pays off. He's in the top 5 now. So we'll try to get that number 69. Nice Premier Racing setups. Chevrolet Camaro up towards the front. But right now, I mean, it's really just Patrick Drabick and Lance Ripka. They're the only ones that are running in the 54, low 54s. Everybody's about mid to high 54s, maybe even low 55. So these guys are scooting for sure. Let's go back here to George Jewell, not a playoff driver, but he always has his camera on. So we like to showcase those folks. And so there's George Jewell there with his it looks like like he changed his poster out. I can't really tell. I should go a little bit bigger here. You can see it got really loose. It looks like a Mark Martin number 6 machine back there. And look, I got a daggone Tide ride there too. So hey, I love that. You can't go wrong with a little Tide. But we appreciate George giving his perspective. Not in the playoffs. Bummer. For sure. I thought that George Jewell is the man to beat in a lot of races this year as far as just being overall much better than he has been in seasons past. So he has definitely improved a lot over the last 6 months or so. Expect to see him go a little bit further, but still having a great race, running in that 9th position on that same fuel strategy as Jeremy Gardner, speaking of, who has just gone around Cliff Adams for that 4th position. Last time by, with that little bit of draft, Jeremy Gardner was the fastest car on the track. As the tires starting to equalize here after about, I'd say we probably have about 7 or 8 laps under green. But starting to see a little bit of fall off from the 2 up front, and everything's starting to equalize. So we'll see how hard they pushed early to see if these guys can kind of keep pace as these laps are going to start to click off pretty quick here. 15 into lap 50. They're running almost a minute lap, so that kind of tells you why there's only 50 laps versus 100, 120 that you see at other places. That time by, Patrick Drabick and Lance Ripka both hit the 55, so they are quickly falling off here. Tire wear is going to mean a great deal. So we saw Ripka and Drabick sort of pull away early, but now they are falling back just a little bit, just a hair. Last couple laps is Ripka way out of the groove. You definitely cannot run up there. That is that is speed killer up there. You can't run that up. That what he was running earlier is what he's got to run. I think he just missed the corner, and that's something else you got to. When we talk about running this track, it is so easy, especially once the right front starts to wear. He's got that dirty air of Patrick Drabick in front of him. Is trying to get the car to actually turn down into the corner is so hard. The turns look identical, but really, One and three are very similar. Two and four are very similar, but they all have really interesting characteristics. You have to drive them very differently. Uh, I think two and four are actually fairly easy to lock down. One and two though is really tough, or one and three are tough because they have those long straightaways. You have so much more speed. You have to get down to that white line like we talked about earlier. And you can see just those little short shoots there. You don't really get the speed, and the car really will turn down into the two and four. But one and three are tough. And we'll go on board with Dravic here and watch as he goes down into turn one. Letting off early, pointing the car right down to the bottom. You see how smooth he's being, picking up the throttle, a little bit of counter steer too, so it doesn't spin out. You can see just taking it easy, not trying to overdrive the entry so you get the power down early. That's what you want to do. Now down into turn number 3. Same thing as 1 and 2. You know, I take it back. I think one and 3 are easier. I think these corners are actually, it's like they're off camera just a little bit. See how it's a little bit harder to get it down to the white line in 2 and 4. So yeah, I think I had it backwards. I think 1 and 3 are actually easier. They've got a little bit different banking, it looks like. So battle here for third starting to heat up as they are. I mean, Garner is all over the back bumper of Daniel Cunningham. He's going to get to the inside. Not much Cunningham is going to be able to do here as they go. I don't know, Cunningham gasses it up, tries to hold on to it. But Garner looks like he is just that much faster. That bottom line there was the ticket. And so now Garner will take over the third spot. And he is fast right now. He may have the opportunity to go up there and take this lead. And he's got the extra fuel, so Jeremy Garner looking pretty good here right now. Might be able to go up there and spoil the party for that 07 machine. Garner obviously not in the playoffs here in the Xfinity car, but we know him as a pretty quick driver. Very smart. Knows how to manage a race, I think, pretty well. Seems to get caught up in a couple things. I don't know. Seems like he gets bored. He could probably qualify up front, run up front. But, get bored. It seems like he wants to go to the back and drive up through the field, and that usually keeps him from getting a bunch of wins. But tonight it's kind of working out in his favor. He has been faster than the leader the last 2 or 3 laps, so we'll see if he can get back up there. Well, at this point, about a second and a half fall off from the start of the race. You can see that Lance Ripka really struggling here to keep pace with the 07, who has just been able to maintain that lead. But Garner, again, about 3/10 faster than the leader. I think he might have taken right sides or 4 tires at some point. So I think Garner might actually be on a new set of tires after one of those pit stops, because he was on pit road for about 14.7 seconds, and he does not need that much fuel. So I think that's where this extra speed for the 69 is coming. He knows we had resets in the pits and only 50 laps. So if it went green, you weren't going to use but one of them. So he goes ahead and takes that advantage, and I think it's going to work out for him here. He's up to second, drove from about the 10th or 11th spot, and has now got up to second, and he is a good bit faster than your leader. So we'll see if he can go up there. He's got about 1.6 seconds to get to the 07. But those fresher tires definitely making a difference as the 07s is sort of plateaued out. Only thing about Garner is that at some point everything sort of equalizes, and he will start to fall off at the same rate that the 07 was, and Patrick hasn't had to drive near as hard as Jeremy Garner has. So it's almost a scenario where, the Garner has the advantage on the tire wear, and then he uses it up so much or so quickly, heats him up, that he actually overshoots Patrick Dravic, who's able to save a little bit more. And so now, at certain points, Jeremy Garner could have the worst tires, even though his are newer. So Just depends on how much you use those things. But we'll see as they cross the line. It looked like Garner did not have a great first sector of the track, so I don't think that's going to translate to faster lap time. I don't know. It's hard to see. You can see he's a little bit tail happy there on exit. See as they cross the line, 55.809. Jeremy Garner 55.690, so a tenth faster that time. I think Garner's in great shape. I think he can go longer than anybody else because of him coming down, getting that fuel. So we'll see when he has to come down pit road versus everybody else. Cunningham able to get around Lance Ripka here for the third spot. But right now, Patrick Drabick and Jeremy Garner, the only driver still running in the 55-second bracket. I think George Jewell just came down pit road, so he is running that 55-second bracket. But the guys still on the old tires. These two up front. Garner definitely has slowly but surely chipped away at the lead at about the 2/10 a lap. And honestly, the consistency is kind of all over the place now because of the tire wear, because of the nature of this track. You slide the rears on exit one time, that's enough to really butcher a lap time. Really hard to run consistently here, especially once the tires get wore out. And we saw Gardner kind of letting the butt end hang out a couple times on exit. Across the line that time, Patrick Drabick about half a tenth faster the last lap. So Gardner starting to hit a brick wall here at around a second, 1.2 seconds. But when will they come down pit road? That is the question. Do they have to pit? They would. I would be surprised if Drabick doesn't come down pit road right about now. But just depends on how far they can go on fuel, whether or not they'll do that. I mean, obviously they can go 25 laps with some cautions, so maybe throw in a couple more laps just for good measure, but we'll see what Drabick decides to do here. I think for him, I don't know. I mean, at this point, because of the fuel difference, I don't think Patrick can really do what Jeremy can do. So I think he pits whenever it's his fuel runs out, and that's the best that he can do. He'll come out with a pretty sizable lead over Gardner, and then Gardner will have fresh tires and the ability to try to run him back down by the end of this thing. So we'll see what he decides to do. Gardner has now gotten that lead down to his Drabick did not have a great lap last time by. It was a 56.4 basically, and Gardner was still in the 55-second bracket. So Drabick didn't have a good lap that time. This time it seemed like he's holding steady. Still waiting on to come down pit road. A couple drivers have already come down pit road. George Jewell is one of them. And the only one, actually. Here it comes. Patrick Drabick comes down pit road, going to give up the lead to Jeremy Garner. Going to bring that 07 Inwit Brewery Chevy Camaro down pit road. 4 tires and fuel will be the call. We'll be able to make it to the end from here. So the now what's everybody else going to do? I don't know. I don't think you pit with Drabick, and unless he makes a mistake, I don't think you pit with Drabick and make anything happen. So I expect to see guys run long if they can. And try to do something a little bit different. But Drabick ready to get some of those tires solidly into his box. No issues, no sliding. Don't want any penalties, no speeding penalties, just not necessary. As good as that 07 is, he's going to come out of pit road, and he's going to be hauling the mail. We'll see if he can stay on the lead lap. He is going to be able to stay on lead lap because Jeremy Garner is just coming off a turn 4 now. So, yeah, yeah, great race, great opportunity here for Dravik. He's not in a danger of going a lap down. And now he's just waiting on everybody to cycle out, and then he will reassume the lead. So great start of the race for Dravik. Continues to be the class of the field here in the Xfinity Series. Now it's sort of, on Jeremy Garner to see what he can do once he does decide to come down pit road, get those fresh tires, and go back out there and attack. I just don't know how much time he will really have. He's got to give Patrick a few laps here, 4 or 5. But the more laps he goes, the less he's going to have to run him back down. So it's a tough call. I really don't know what the right call is. I couldn't tell you. We're going to find out together, I guess. Gardner crossed the line for lap 29, 28 in the books. A couple cautions so far in this race, but now just 20 laps to go. See who is going to lock themselves into the Final Four. Who's going to be racing for a championship? And I can tell you there's a couple drivers that are going to be in trouble. Not too bad because we don't have a huge field. When you have smaller fields, the bad days are rarely ever terrible. Because the point system is based on 43 drivers. And so even if, like Jacob Ellingson right now on track 2 laps down, seems like a nightmare of a race. However, he is still getting 14th place points. Could be way worse if there were 30 drivers. It would be a nightmare of a scenario for him. But now, as you see, Jeremy Garner now coming down pit road. Getting it woed up. Here comes Chance Taylor along with him. But yeah, these short fields definitely help. Bad days not be so terrible. And, Jacob Ellingson trying to fight, stay in the game, get as many points as he can. That way he can come out next week and maybe not have to win to get in. So, Kostick, though, he is gone. Called it a night after that contact on lap 2. Going to come out of pit road, and there goes Patrick Dravik. Right on around, you can see the difference in 3 laps of fresher tires that Dravik has done. And he is laying down the best laps of the night after that pit stop at 54 flat. That is scooting. Making it work, knowing what's at stake. Trying to get all he can here before these other guys come down pit road. Here comes Cunningham. Daniel Cunningham makes his way down pit road. And he's driving behind the scoring pylon. Can't see his car. There he is. Big boo. He's a ghost. Brings that ghost energy number 91, Lightning McQueen, Toyota Supra, into his stall. I think he might have had to back up a little bit too, so that's going to hurt. But 4 tires of fuel for him. As we still have Lance Ripka out on the track. That 52 machine staying out as long as he possibly can. Gets a caution. It would work out, I think, pretty well for him. Because Patrick, at this point, would have to come back down pit road. He couldn't stay out. So, you get that caution. That would work out great. But not going to get it. Going to come down pit road, bring that 52. And really struggling to get that thing to slow down. You can see it sort of twisting and bending as he was on the brakes. Such a great part of this car is just the old style of suspension versus the next gen sort of planted square box. These have still got that flexed, yawed out. Not as much as maybe the ARCA car, but they still kind of do it. Lance Ripka comes down pit road, and Cliff Adams going to assume the lead. That 98 machine has been running well all race long, and then right behind him is Kyle Deering in the number 7. You can see, though, a little bit damage on that right front. That'll get you. That Marine's number 7 Ford Mustang. It made a little bit of contact with the wall, it looks like, and that is very easy to do. You can see that right front kind of pushed in there. Those walls come at you quick. And if you get on the gas too early and it really starts to grip up, that car will just drive right out to that wall, and you won't be able to stop it. Cliff Adams now gives up the lead to Kyle Deering, and he will come to make his stop here on lap 32 of his run. And Drabick now take over second. We'll assume the lead once Deering comes in, probably in the next lap or so. And you can see Jeremy Garner right behind him. So Garner is out about, let's see, about 4.8 seconds behind Patrick Drabick. And Garner, last lap, ran the fastest lap of the race, a 53.920. So he is going as hard as he possibly can. Drabick ran a 54.3, but 4.8 seconds with 15 laps to go is going to be tough for anybody. And I think Garner is going to be in a position where he's got to run qualifying laps to the end, and I think that will work out in the favor of Patrick Drabick. So we'll see what Garner can do. I think he's really pushing the limit of this car, and that usually brings on mistakes. So we'll see if he can catch him, but he's got a lot of work to do. Go back here to the fourth position, and you got Cunningham trying to get around Chance Taylor. Chance pitted a lap before Cunningham, and Daniel goes down to the inside. Chance kind of blocks off the top side, but Cunningham able to get to the inside and gets a nice run down the straightaway. You see, he might clear him before turn one. He does. Chance going to drive it in on the outside, try to hang on to it, but Cunningham going to have that spot, so move Cunningham up to third. And, not much he could do. He's about 11.5 seconds back from the two leaders. Third place is probably going to be the best that he can do. You can see Lance Ripka back here. He pitted a lap after Cunningham, so we'll see. He's been fast on fresh tires, that's for sure. I think he's faster than Cunningham. We'll see after 15 laps if he's able to keep the tires under him. He wasn't able to do it the first run, but a lot shorter of a run this time. So we'll see if he can get up there, maybe battle for that podium position. But it's all Patrick Drabick. He comes off turn number 4. Just kidding. He's on the backstretch. And he's got a big lead. About 4 seconds, but 15 laps to hang on to it. Garner has cut into it by about a second so far. But they are definitely falling off at different times. So Drabick will continue to lose time. Garner, it's going to be close, but before they come down pit road, Garner was about less than a second behind Drabick. So it is definitely possible that Garner gets pretty close, but I just don't know if he'll have enough by the time he gets there to make that pass. I think Drabick just needs to make sure he saves his stuff and is able to defend once that 69 car gets there. You don't want to use your stuff up trying to like keep that gap a certain way. You want to make sure you have enough in the tank to be able to battle it out if you need be. Garner really is chunking this lead. He's down to 3.4 seconds, almost a half a second last lap, as Drabick's right around here is where the tires really fall off. They fall off about a tenth or so, a couple laps, and then all of a sudden, boom, you drop off half a second, which will be very beneficial for Garner. And then Garner's will do the same, and he is really abusing his tires. So and Patrick came out of the gate laying down some heaters too. So I don't think Patrick is just on a Sunday drive, but I have a hard time believing that Garner's going to get up here in 13 laps. But if there's anybody who can do it, it's that 69 car. We'll see if he can get it done. Well, all the racing's going to get going this particular week. We've had a really nice Thanksgiving break, and now we're back to racing. And to finish these things off, just 3 weeks remain in each series, and all of them extremely competitive. As you see Tyler Justice coming down pit road, and Drabick gets a little bit loose off that corner, and he ran a 55.3, which is a little bit slower than he was the first run. So he is definitely pushing that car pretty hard. As man, I tell you what, Garner was almost a second faster last lap. So Patrick's going to have to make sure he doesn't make those mistakes again, because that was hurtful to his lap times. Got the Next Gen Series on Maconi Entertainment tomorrow night. Thursday night, it's going to be the ARCA Series. You got Friday night trucks and then Sunday trucks. Whole week of racing. Thursday is going to be on Nazareth 360, and then Sunday is on Maconi and of course Friday on here on V Speed as always. So can't wait to see who all the champions going to be this season. It's just been some of the most incredible racing. 11 different winners, I do believe, in the Friday Night Truck Series. Jake Ham breaks the streak by going back-to-back in races. The only two-time winner, the only back-to-back winner. Pretty incredible to get your first win and then get the second win. The only one to do that right after that one. So, yeah, just incredible racing over there in that Friday series. The Wednesday night series has always been ultra competitive. A little bit of controversy this week with the with Ryan Pendleton going out. You see Patrick Drabbit get real loose there in the middle of the corner, starting to fade a little bit as Garner starts to put more pressure down on him. A little bit of controversy with Ryan Pendleton exiting the playoffs, and an addition of Jesse Whittington to the playoff field. So that might make the race a little bit extra spicy. But breathe new life for Jesse Whittington, who was out of it due to a waiver issue of not making all the playoff races, and then gets denied a waiver, and then he gets granted a waiver. So it's just a wild, kind of a roller coaster deal. As here we got some lap traffic, and Patrick now going to the inside of Doug Ellingson. And no issue there as Doug able to stay out of the way. See Jeremy Garner easing up to the back bumper as Ellingson going to stay high. And so Garner is now there. I mean, he is a second away with 10 laps to go. I just didn't know how much he'd be able to make it work. But I think Patrick has been pushing that car a little bit harder than I thought he was, because 10 laps is definitely plenty of time to get around this 07 machine now how close he is. So Jeremy Garner has done a great job. Now he gets to settle in, try to run him down. On board Jeremy Garner as we watch him. I mean, he is there. He's got the draft. He's got a little bit of dirty areas. He gets within about 3 or 4 tenths, but he has got 3 lap fresher tires, and that might be enough to make dirty air sort of irrelevant here, as he's going to get the toe down the straightaway. Drabbit can try to snake it a little bit, break the draft, but there's not much he can do. He just needs to focus on hitting his line and allowing himself to kind of maintain the gap. Hope that Jeremy Garner's tires start to fade. See that little wobble, that left to right wobble on the exit of the corner? That just shows you how much on the limit the Garner is. You see how much he closed there off of turn 2. Going to get a great run down the straightaway, and he's there. I mean, he is there. I don't know if Patrick's going to be able to fight him off, but I know damn sure he is going to. You see Drabbit doing sort of an arc on entry, and I think that's hurting him a little bit. I think he's having trouble getting down in the corner, where Garner is sort of taking a more shallow entry that allows him to get back on the throttle a little bit sooner. He's not loading up that right rear. And here he goes. Big draft down the straightaway. He's not going to get there just yet, but he is all over that 07. We'll see if Drabbit can hold him off. Going to have 8 laps, almost 8 minutes to hold him off. And here's Garner all over him. Garner to the back bumper. No move just yet. Oh, man, he gets a great run through that corner. Drabick going to try to block down to the inside. Nothing he could do. Garner with a great drive through the middle of 3, and boy, that set himself up for a great exit off of 4. And unfortunately, unless this lap traffic has something to say, Garner is got all the advantages you could possibly want and just drives right on around Jeremy Garner, who now takes the lead. So what does that mean? Well, not much for Patrick, who's still in good shape. However, he's not locked in. That is the biggest problem with this move that just happened, is that he went from being locked into the Final Four, not having to worry about next week at all, to now with Jeremy Garner getting around him, now he is not locked in. He's going to have, based on virtue of points, which is no guarantee. So that was a big move there for Drabick. He needed to get this win here tonight, and it looks like that win is driving away from him. Of course, as we look at the schedule, you can see there Indianapolis here on the 3rd of December, and then you got Worldwide Technology Gateway next week, which is an odd track, but sets up pretty well, I think, for Goat Locker drivers for sure, as they seem to really kind of settle in on Indy, Gateway, and Nashville. So I think Pat will be okay. I think Gateway will be a good track for him, and then Nashville, of course, will be they'll be tough to beat there. So Garner not in the playoffs. He's just trophy hunting tonight. Started in 3rd. Stopped a couple times for fuel. Took those extra set of tires that allowed him to drive back up to the front. And you can see the difference in what that gave him, as he was able to run up to the back bumper, basically, of Drabick before pit stops. And see Jeremy running up on some lap traffic. That's the 64 of Matt Knights. Just 5 laps to go in the first round of 8. And if it holds steady like this, we will not have somebody locked into the Final Four just yet. We'll have to wait another week to see who is going to be racing for the championship here in the Hidden Wit Brewery Xfinity Series. Lap traffic. Don't think it'll be an issue for Garner. A drive down to the inside, and Matt stays well out of the way, lets the leader go. So now a lot of clean air in front of that 69 machine, and he can just try to bring it home at Indy. Had a nice little battle here for 3rd and 4th, though. You got Daniel Cunningham and Lance Ripka. This is for the final podium position. And Lance trying to put the pressure here on Cunningham with just 3 laps to go in this race. He's got lap pressure tires. We know how good he was early on in the run. And now we're starting to hit sort of a mid-run. Cunningham was a little bit better the first time, but they are sort of equal right now. We'll see if you can see the cars moving around all over the place. These guys are really pushing. These guys not in contention to win for sure. I mean, 10.5 seconds back from the lead. They had not shown the speed to be able to battle for the win, but great point stay for these two, regardless of if they finished 3rd or 4th. Did what they needed to do. Great job by Daniel to kind of shake off the early incident and get your head back on straight. Go out there and get the job done for your team. And right now he's in a great position with 3 laps to go, and Lance is there, but just doesn't seem to really have. It seems like the dirty air is affecting him a lot more than what we saw with Garner and Drabick. So I don't know if Lance is going to be able to get him. If you're Cunningham, you just try to hit your marks. You don't want to give Lance a whole bunch of speed down a straightaway. So you just want to hit those exits of turn 2 and turn 4, and should have this one in the bag. A lot easier said than done, I'll tell you that. Up front, Garner with still with the lead. 1.4 seconds is the gap back to Patrick Drabick. A little bit of lap traffic in front. That is, looks like Tyler Justice. No, it's not Tyler Justice. I don't know who that is. Oh, it's Bobby Germain. So Bobby running very similar, solid lap times compared to Garner, just a few tenths slower. So it's not like Garner's going to run up on him quickly. So it's likely that Garner just kind of hangs back, doesn't try to push that issue. He's got now a 1.7, 1.8 second lead and looking to bring this thing home. Just praying for no caution. If you're Patrick Drabick, you're just praying that somebody has some sort of issue that you can get 4 tires on this thing and have another opportunity to get the win. But doesn't look like it's going to happen. Here comes Jeremy Garner. White flag in Barney's hands. One more lap to go here at Indy. Jeremy Garner, no caution's going to matter now. Just needs to bring it home. Oh, and Bobby Germain has some issue right in front of him. Bobby going to stay on the bottom of the track. Garner gives him a wide berth to the corner. Didn't know if he was going to come back up. It's going to cost him some time, but not too much. He's able to get the speed down the straightaway on that outside line, and Drabick not able to take advantage of it. Into turn number 3. No issue there. Going to come through turn 4, and he'll see the checkered flag. Started third, not racing in the playoffs, but he's going to get that trophy as Martin's going to reach in, grab that checkered flag. And there it is, Jeremy Garner, your winner here tonight at Indianapolis. Well, pretty good race back from Thanksgiving break, and that was a fun one to watch. Indianapolis is a sort of a driver's track. It always... it may not be the best, as far as viewership goes. Dover, Darlington, all those tracks kind of give that same feeling. Indy is sort of right there in there. But if you're a driver, you love this track, as it takes a lot of skill to get around it. And tonight, Jeremy Garner was the one able to get it done. He'll go celebrate. Do a little burnout on the bricks. What I would imagine in real life. I don't know if they like for you to do that, but here on virtual Indianapolis, you can do whatever the heck you want. He lays rubber right on the bricks. There's your winner, Jeremy Garner. Get him up here and talk to him in just a moment. And we'll take a look at your results and see where everybody finished up. Well, Gardner, Drabick, and Cunningham, your top 3. Lance Rivka right behind Cunningham in that 4th position. Chance Taylor in 5th. Cliff Adams had a nice day in 6th. Mickey Isaac in 7th. Playoff driver having a good finish. Bobby Germain there in 8th. Matt Knights in 9th. George Jewell in 10th. Kyle Deary in 11th. Jacob Ellingson in 12th. 13th. Doug Ellingson. Kyle Justice in 14th. And Michael Kostick in 15th. So a couple really bad races for some playoff drivers. Why is the music so loud? I don't know. Let's talk to some of these final 3. Well, we got Jeremy Garner up into the booth, your winner here tonight at Indy. Garner, that 69 nice machine seemed really, really fast. You made some strategy early to try to get some fuel, and I think the 4 tires you took really made the difference there, huh?
Yeah, it definitely made the difference there. I was just trying to play smart all night. I wasn't trying to kill my tires. This setup was super loose. I don't know if it was the track temp, but I was literally drifting every corner. But I finally just laid back to my normal pace and just let it cruise and try to save fuel the best I could.
Yeah, and you got up to Drabick once you took those tires, able to slice and dice the field. got up to under a second, and then he comes down pit road, and you kind of waited just the right amount of time, it seemed, to come back and take your tires. Was that a consideration? I mean, you took the extra fuel, but you came in about four laps after him. Was that what you wanted to do, or are you kind of indecisive there?
Honestly, a little indecisive. I didn't think that was honestly going to work. I was almost going to stay out 2 laps longer than when he pitted, but I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to stay out 4 because I mean it's lap 30. I mean I had plenty of time to make it up. I just tried to save it there on the long run as much as I could. I figured I could kind of come through a little bit more with what I had. Just tried to save it and just try to be really conservative and consistent. So I seen 6.3 seconds and I was like, oh, I messed up, but it worked out. That was fun. I figured he would give me more of a battle than that because me and Pat always side by side is never a good idea. Me and him race super hard. Sorry I beat you tonight, Boo Bear, if you're listening.
Well, hey, very good drive for you. I mean, honestly, just went up there and kind of just took it with the extra tires. Not much you could do, and you're at victory lane doing some burnouts on the bricks. Congratulations, Jeremy. Who do you have to thank?
Let's see. Pat and Jamie always GLR. It's my favorite league to run in. This is the best league out there, if you ask me. Appreciate everything they do for all the veteran community and hell for our community at that. Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit Brewery, Cruising Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, Veterans for Life Foundation, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Jam Pringa Promotions. Of course, you guys, y'all put on a hell of a broadcast, and we appreciate you every week. Nazar 360, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, Alexander PCs, Sim Motion, Next Level Racing, iRacing, Above the Yellow Line, and of course, my boys over at Premier Racing Setups. Come check us out.
There you have it, Jeremy Garner, your winner here tonight in Indianapolis, and not a playoff driver, but he'll take the trophy home. And well, we got second place Patrick Dravitt. Going to get him up into the booth. Pat, man, I maybe I kind of jinxed you saying that it felt like it was your race to lose. I guess I don't know. I thought you had it in the bag, and old Jeremy Garner kind of took it from you there. I mean, what do you think you could have done differently? Is there anything you could have done differently to try to keep him back in second?
First, I mean, congratulations to him, man. I mean, he played that tire strategy and the pit strategy, stuck to his plan and made it work for him. I mean, he was tracking me down in that first run, had a couple lap fresher tires in that first run, and was tracking me down. And I don't know, Eddie. I played the strategy I'd set out from the beginning, which was pit it halfway and go. And I knew once I pit and nobody else did, I would definitely extend my lead out a little bit. And then I figured, the tires would eventually equalize and I'd be okay. But damn, Eddie, I was wrong about that one.
Yeah, I thought your strategy was pretty solid. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good one, and he came out and I closed that gap quicker than I ever thought. So just a great job by him, but a great job by you. I mean, obviously disappointed. You'd love to win and be locked in, but you got those bonus points from those wins that you collected there at the end of the season. Should help you kind of give you a buffer, but you're going into Gateway. Seems like kind of your type of track too. So how you feel about Gateway?
Oh, I love Gateway. I think Gateway's going to be a whole lot of fun. I haven't raced there in an Xfinity car in a little while, so we'll see how that works and all that. But that's a fun track, man. And so looking forward to that. Looking forward to closing the season out for sure. I mean, it was a damn good day for the Hidden Wit Brewery '07 Camaro to bring it home second, to lead the most laps, to take the pole. I mean, I guess I can't complain too much, but it stings a little for sure.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. Gonna put you in a great spot next week. So as always, brother, who do you got to thank?
All right, well, Lincoln Tech, obviously, I always wear them here on Tuesday nights for everything that they've done for us from the fall series and everything else they do for us. Hidden Wit Brewery, love running their paint scheme on the side of the car. Love having them as sponsor. Expect them to be back next year. Cruising Classics and Nasties, Veterans for Life Foundation and Veterans for Life Racing. Operation Valor is going to be coming on here very shortly as well. We're talking to a lot of great organizations. InVets that does everything for us on Sundays, the Indiana Department of Veterans Affairs. We're getting ready to put together a big kind of to-do here in the city of Indianapolis and do another SimRig giveaway. So we got a lot of really, really cool things going on. Jam Printing and Promotions, obviously. Glad to bring home the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award here this evening. We just put in an order for a whole bunch of hoodies that everybody ordered. They're getting those put together. So we continue to do just some awesome things around here. Excited to kind of close this season out and ring in 2025 with some really big announcements.
Well, we'd love to hear that. Well, congratulations again, Pat. And we'll see you. We'll see you on Friday, I guess, on V Speed. So congratulations. Go celebrate on second place.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right. Well, we're going to talk to our third place finisher, Daniel Cunningham, able to get that podium spot, held on to it, hard charging Lance Ripka there at the end. Well, Daniel, obviously, first part of the race, not the way you wanted it to go, but you kept in the fight and was able to fight back and get this third place. Talk about your race.
Yeah, I feel like an ass for that incident on the second lap. Kostick and I are teammates. We're in chat together. I asked him if he wanted to push down the straightaway to try to get by Jake because we knew passing is going to be hard on equal tires. I mean, once we kind of got some different tire strategies, you were able to make some stuff happen. But yeah, I mean, I've given bump drafts like that before. It looked like I was on him square and it just lifted his rear tires off the ground. So sorry to the 33 too. I'm pretty sure it ruined his race. I know it doesn't fix his race or anything, but came out with third, but definitely not happy about the route that it took to get there.
Right. Well, I mean, it's still a really good finish. Thinking about your championship hopes, it's good to get a third place finish here tonight. Looking forward to Gateway. I don't know what's your thoughts about Gateway.
I have mixed thoughts on it because I got my first ever league win at Gateway. But ever since then, I just kind of, I don't know, the place is just hard to figure out for me. So it's nice to have a little bit of a points cushion. I think I've got like 8 points or something like that over the cutoff from what I looked at. So that's nice to have. So hopefully I can just get a solid race next week and make championship 4.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, congratulations on that third place finish. And who do you have to thank?
Yeah, appreciate you, V Speed, doing the broadcasts. You always do an awesome job with these things. Appreciate thank Lincoln Tech, Hidden Wit Brewery for jumping on as primary sponsors this season. And just thanks to all my teammates and keeping my head in it when I'm beating myself up for stupid things that I do sometimes. So it's nice to have the support with teammates and picking me back up with stuff when I do stuff like that. So thanks to everybody over at Bandits too.
All right, well, there you have it. Daniel Cunningham, your third place finisher here tonight at Indy. And boy, oh boy, that's going to do it for us here tonight at Indianapolis. What a great race. A lot of drama happening with some playoff drivers, a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, a little in between. But got to thank Hidden Wit Brewery for their sponsorship of this series. Of course, Lincoln Tech for coming on board for the whole entire fall series, encompassing all 5 series. So thank them. But, yeah, that does it for us tonight. Jeremy Garner gets the win. Patrick Dravick trying to lock himself in, but nobody is locked into the Final Four. We'll all race it out next week at Gateway here on V-Speed. Thank y'all so much for watching. For Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, and all the V-Speed family, everything that those guys do. Appreciate everyone, every single one of you. And we'll see y'all tomorrow night on McConey Entertainment for the Cruising Classics Next Gen Series. Come on out. That'll be a good one to see. We'll see y'all next time. Matt Smith. Have a great night.